Hey, and welcome to VFX Tutors. I'm Josh, and I'm back. I haven't uploaded anything in quite a long time, and if you've been watching my videos, you probably noticed that I've moved in this time, and probably lost a lot of hair as well. But anyway, without going on, so we're just going to go through some showreel tips for your Matchmove reels, basically. Without me going on, we'll just jump straight into it. Okay, so we finished our Matchmove shot, and we want to get it ready for our reel. So we've done all the tracking, bringing it to Maya or whatever 3D software that you're using. We've done the modeling and all the layout geo for it as well. So you may get, when you first do it, you may get some weird sort of artifacts and stuff like this. So we're just going to prepare our scenes so we have the best sort of looking wireframe. So when you do this, you kind of want to make sure that you're consistent throughout as well. So whatever you pick now in your first shot, you kind of want to do it throughout your all other shots that you have on your reel, just so it's consistent and looks professional. So first thing I'm doing, I'm just going to sort out my camera because it's looking a bit funky. So I'm just going to go to my scene and select my camera. I'm just going to change a couple things in here to make it look a little bit nicer. So I'm going to change my near clipping plane to 5, and this depends on how big your scene is, because it's a huge landscape, it's going to be quite large. And you can see now it's got rid of a lot of these sort of weird artifacts, and if you have some strange artifacts in your geometry as you're doing yours, that'll probably be why you're getting that as well. So I'm pretty sure that's our maximum. So, and then also you may have like not very good anti-aliasing on, so make sure you turn your anti-aliasing on as well, so it gives you a nice smooth wireframe. So the next thing that I want to do is make it so we can actually see something. So I'm just going to go to my image plane shape, and you should get your image plane attributes, and I'm just going to go straight to my alpha gain and change to 0.7. It's kind of what I use for all mine, because it's just a nice amount of being able to see the footage and the wireframe. And then I'm just going to scroll down to depth, and I'm going to change this to 1. So now you can see that our footage is now seeing on the other side of our wireframe, and we can see it quite nice and clearly. But also the colour is as well, it's not very clear. So this is why I say you want to pick something that you're quite happy to stick with. If you've got lots of these shots, you want to make sure that they're all the same, because it just looks nicer and more professional. So I'm just going to go to my channel box layer editor and create a new layer, and this allows us just to make a colour on the wireframe without actually affecting anything. So I'm going to click save, and now you can see we've got green wireframe, and it works, yeah. So you can see that it's all sticking, and yeah. So for wireframe and stuff, this is pretty much all I do. It depends on how messy your wireframe is. Obviously this is a scan that I've done from the point cloud, but it's also pretty clean here, but it shows what we really need. And you may also want to add, if you've got a big background, if you add a sphere in as well. Let's just make this absolutely massive, even bigger, cool. And that kind of shows us our maximum distance as well. So it's nice to have that in. It shows your horizon line is nice and straight, and kind of your infinite distance is working. So I'll just put that in over the set geo as well. Cool. So I'm quite happy with this wireframe. I'm going to stick with the colour. Like say if you choose this colour, you kind of want to stick with it for all the other shots as well, so it's not like changing, and keep your settings similar. So now I'm just going to go up to show. I'm actually going to turn it all off, and I'm going to go show polygons and show image planes. So the only thing now I will see in my play blast is my geo and my footage. So I'm going to right click on my timeline, I'm going to go to play blast and select this box. No, I'm not. I'm going to go to my render settings, because we're going to use our render settings to drive our play blast. So this footage is at 1080p, so I'm just going to change it to 1080p. That's pretty much all I'm going to do in there, because we're not actually rendering, it's just play blasting. And you can do these separate ways by PNGs and comping it in Nuke, but I'm just assuming that you only want to do it in Maya or whatever software that you have. So I'm going to turn all my play blast options off up here, so it doesn't show any of this details down here. I'm going to have my image, my format's image in JPEG, and from render settings scale. And I'm not really going to change much from here, and I'll make sure saved file is on. I'm going to go to browse, and there's already one in here, but I'm going to make a folder because I shouldn't have done that. Wire, and I'll just call this wire. You can call it whatever you want, just as long as you know that it's the wire. And I'm just going to play blast. So as you can see, it's going through. It's looking really nice. It's looking clear. You can see the footage through it. And for like my wireframe sort of play blast, this is pretty much what I will do. And for the next one, we'll just go on to the cones as well once this is done. But yeah, you can download this footage for free, and there's a tutorial on how to do this shot. Complete walkthrough, goes through how to track it, do all the lens distortion and all the modeling. Just have a look through my channel and you'll see there's pretty much everything there for it. Cool, so that's done, and that's saved out to wireframe. So my next thing that I really want to do is add cones. So I'm actually going to hide my set geo. Why aren't you hiding? Because I'm pressing enter. Cool, so I haven't actually made any cones yet. So if you if I go to my locators, you can see they're all here from my tracking markers. And you can like snap and add cones, but there is a I do have a script that you can download from my Gumroad as well. So download that. It's a pretty simple script, but it will save you a lot of pain. So I'm just going to copy this, go to my script editor, go to mail script and paste. Make sure I've got all my points selected, and then I am just going to go to execute, and it should create a cone group here. We don't need that anymore, and they're probably quite small, so you want to make sure that you are on object tool settings for this, so you can scale them up where they are, and you want to kind of make it nice, in a nice sort of size for the screen. And obviously we can't see the rest, so what I'll do, I'm just going to go show, turn off my image plane. I'm just going to pretty much try and select everything in the screen space, because some of them are so far away, can't really see. I'm just going to deselect the ones that I don't need to scale. I'm just going to scale these up. I'm going to deselect this, scale those up again, and deselect those. And I'm deselecting by holding Control and left clicking. I'm just going to keep scaling them up. It's just so we can see them a bit clearer in our play blast. Cool. I'm pretty happy with that, so I'm just going to go to show, bring back my image plane. I'm going to hide my locators now. So we still can't really see them, so I'm just going to go to select my cones and add a shader to them. So holding right click and add new material. Just going to give it a Lambert and select color. No, I'm going to select color and just pick red. And you can see that we can sort of see them, but let's go to flat lighting and turn off our wireframe when shaded off. So you can change the... See, I can change the opacity of the plate, but then it's going to change the look between shots, so we can sort of make these a little bit clearer. Just by boosting it all. Don't change that. Cool. So it looks pretty clear anyway. We can see where the cones are, and it's all looking nice. And that means that when we add this to our sort of when we start sort of putting this in our showreel, it's going to look quite nice to the wireframe as well. So what I'll do, just going to right click play blast. No, that's going to overwrite the one that I've just done. So click that. I don't know why it did that. Probably have to do the wireframe again. So I'm just going to call this. No, why? Everything's going wrong at the moment. Let's call this one cones. And you can call this whatever as long as you know what it is. And you can see that our cones are nice and sticking. They're really clear. It's not looking... the aesthetic of it's looking quite nice. I know it's only like a Matchmove reel, but there's so many out there. You kind of want to make sure that you're really up on your game on just like presentation of what you're doing, because effectively this is for your show reel. You got to show it the best way possible. I know this is going on for quite a long time, but I was hoping this would be quick. But so I'm actually go back and do that wireframe one again, because I definitely accidentally overwrit some of the frames. I'll just call it a wire 2 just in case I don't know. Cool, so that's now play blasting in. So for that, we're pretty much done. So we'll go through and we'll put it together, but then there's also one more thing that we kind of also want to do as well, which is, you see it come up sometimes in reels and some people like using it. I don't really use it, but I can see why people do, and that's like the checkerboard. And one of the biggest things that you see with the checkerboard, that is all, it looks like crazy. So if you are going to use the checkerboard method, you need to definitely make sure that your UVs are done nicely as well. So what I'll do, I'm just going to turn my wireframe shaded off. So if I add a checkerboard to this, yeah, let's just do it this way, it's easiest. You'll notice nothing happens, because probably it has no UVs. See? So what we need to make sure is that this has UVs, because you obviously can't put a texture on it. So I'll go to UV. I know there's no UVs on it, but I am just going to, just in case anything weird, I'm going to delete everything off it. Then what I'll do, I'll just select it, go UV, camera based, and now that's working. And now, to be honest, that's for our terrain, that's actually looking absolutely reasonably fine, I find. Obviously the scale of it is probably a bit big, so we can change our (2D) texture cell coverage. I think I'm going the wrong way of that. Nope, I am doing the completely wrong thing, sorry. UP 10. And you've got, obviously, you can go as crazy as you want with this, but the most important thing about this is that it's not doing silly shapes. And that's really what you want to avoid, because it just doesn't look very good. So at least we see that that's working. And we can also so if we also assign a new material to this, we can add the same, but we may have messed it up by changing it for this. And because this is a sphere, it needs to be reversed, so we'll just go to our mesh display, and reverse. And you can see again that that's still massive, so we'll do the same again. And we kind of don't want stretch, we just want to make it look quite nice. So you can go through and do all these bits. So it might become more complex when you're actually having to UV something like this, because I imagine let's go to our UV editor. You can see it's like a bit wacky here. And it also seems like there's some weird stuff with this geometry as well. Anyway, it's because we've done some nasty. So basically, you don't want stuff like this when you're doing the sort of UV sort of blast, because it just looks nasty. You want it to make sure that it looks nice and clean. And this is why I don't tend to do this, because this means that you really do want to UV this, which is not something you really want to be doing for your showreel. So what we can do, we can just create, let's try an automatic one, and that's probably done the job. And you can see here that stuff is all stretched, it's not looking very nice, so we really want to make sure we make it look like that. So let's just, because we're not actually doing this for texturing, it's just for Matchmove, we'll just create and do it automatically. So now it looks nice and clean. And if we assign a new material, checkerboard, and we'll just repeat. Cool. You can see that it's all looking nice and clean. There's no like stretch stuff, and it just looks a bit more presentable. I don't think I've actually got anything more for over there. Cool. So that's pretty much what I would only do for that. Obviously the sort of adding the UVs and stuff is a little bit, you might want to clean up your UVs here to make it look more presentable, but it's to show that things are sticking. So we'll do that again and play blast it. Make sure you select the box so it doesn't overwrite. Just call this UV. You can call it whatever, I'm just going to call it UV, but cool. So now it's all looking pretty clean. Probably something wrong with the geo here, that's making it look a bit funny. We will, oh, I think it's been chopped out, but yeah, it looks clean and it's not looking crazy, and obviously there's a lot going on here, so yeah, it's, to be honest, this has been, like, for a quick tutorial, it's been quite long, but for something that you're going to do to your showreels, this takes absolutely no time at all. I'm going to investigate why that's not showing. What is going on with... Okay, so it's just it's basically so close we're just seeing one giant patch. I'm gonna say it's all down to what you kind of are feeling at the moment. What is going on? My thing keeps sticking. I guess if you wanted to, we could just up this, I don't know, to 40. And now you can see it. So we can play blast that again if you want. So now you can see it's working a little bit nicer down here. So yeah, that's pretty much all I'll do for this. I kind of only use wireframe and cones, but if you're doing the sort of checkerboard as well, you really want to make sure that it's kind of looking a little bit nice. So hopefully that's been helpful. This is what I'll do for my showreels and what I've done in the past for my showreels and for what I continue to do for my reels as well. But if you've got shot work, obviously lead with your best work. I'm assuming that most people are trying to start their first new job, so a lot of the time you're going to be working with your own stuff. So other than that, we can put this together in Premiere Pro now and sort of see what it looks like, and then yeah, you like with the best thing that I can say is keep with your Matchmove reels, like don't do like a 10-minute long one, keep it quite short, minute, half, 2 minutes or so of just your best work basically, and don't do too many passes. Like, the reason why I'd only do the wireframe, we'll just go through and I'll chat through that in a minute. So we're just going to open up Premiere Pro and we'll have a look. Okay, so I got Premiere Pro open. I'm just going to go to File, and you don't have to use Premiere Pro, you can use any software that you're using. I'm just using this because this is just what I'm using. And what I'll do, I'll go to my did I? So I'll just drag and drop that in, and now we can see what we've got. And that has just loaded one image for some reason. Oh, it never goes right when you're... It's because I select the last one. Kind of does that when... So Y2, that's when image sequence. Cool. Let's brought that in. And this shot is already like just under 15 seconds. So we don't want loads of iterations on this. So if we just import our cones, and you can see that we're already almost half a minute. And if you want to keep your show reel at like a minute, half, 2 minutes to quickly show, you're not going to want to then go, let's import our, this is not like the go-to thing to do. This is just like everyone has their own opinion on stuff. I wouldn't necessarily do this, because the reason why I don't do this one is purely because there's nothing that you can't see that you've already done that's already in here and in here. This is just effectively almost just like a filler. So, and when you're doing that, you're already at a minute and you've shown one shot, which is not particularly great. And this is quite a simple shot as well, so it's long. So you can see that we've got it and it's all looking really nice. And there's not really much else to talk about this apart from it's deciding, is it your best shot or not your best shot, or is it worth showing? Obviously, having something like this shows that you can Matchmove something with no data and you've modeled everything and everything's working. It's pretty much this is what you're going to have to do on a lot of shots that don't have LiDAR and scan. So, and then you can see how it's all looking nicely between shots. So if you're doing other shots, you want to make sure that your next wire is the same color and you've got the same sort of alpha gain, so it's not looking like a bit mismatched and hickledy-pickledy. You want to make it look as nice as possible, and it really does. It really does go the way to make it further. So generally, it's always up to you. But for one shot, I would not spend almost 45 seconds on it. You kind of want to, yeah, that's enough. I personally wouldn't have that, and just go straight onto your own next shot. And especially for Matchmove, I haven't got anything prepared now. Like, showing cameras is great, but you really want to also show having some object tracks in there and some match anim. I know it can be tricky to get hold of stuff to work with, but if you do look through my channel, you can pick up loads of stuff to object track with and stuff to do match anim with. So even if it's your first reel, it doesn't matter that it's training material. It's loads of people use this now. I've seen so many people. I've even seen reels where I've had a look, send them in, and yeah, and you see your own stuff, and like, it doesn't matter because it's training material. All that matters is that you do it correctly and it looks good and works for everyone. So yes, there is a lot of training material. That being said, there is a lot of training material out there, but I tend to use this, I create my own, and that's more sort of levied towards what actual you're going to probably end up doing. Like, in almost every single one of my shots, there are no tracking markers, because you probably won't get tracking markers and stuff like that. But anyway, I've been going on. This is how I do my reel. Make it nice and clean with cones and stuff like that. And yeah, if you need anything else, drop a message in the chat. I know I've been away for a long time and I'm probably going on a bit, so I'm just going to leave it as that. Hope this has been useful. Maybe not, maybe it has. But yeah, thank you for watching, and always appreciate your comments and likes, and if you've got any questions, drop anything in the chat below. And don't forget to subscribe, because you know it does help and it makes me smile and happy. And thanks for watching. See you guys probably in the next video if I think of one to do. Bye.